New episode. Got a new guest. Known this man for a long time. Very successful guy. So we'll get right into it. I hope you guys liked last week's episode, and we're coming to a close soon. But yeah, hope you guys have liked this.
Actually, we don't know where we're going to put this though.
No, we're coming to a close.
This could be the beginning or the ending. You never know.
Close of the series.
Oh, okay.
Soon.
So we are coming to a close
of this series.
Okay,
soon.
yeah.
But I hope you guys have enjoyed the past episodes, and we'll get right into it. I'll give the mic to Joel for the time. Oh, by the way, this is Joel. I haven't said that.
Let him introduce himself, man.
Let him introduce himself.
Take the stage.
Friend Joel, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, where you come from, who's your mother, father. But yeah, so Mike's yours. Introduce yourself.
I guess I'm Joe.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy. See, a man said it this way. You gotta get to a point where you don't have to introduce yourself anymore.
Bro,
That's what we're heading at, right?
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. That's what we're heading at, right?
We're going there.
We're getting there.
Surely we're there.
Surely. I mean, if people don't know who you are,
Surely.
then, you know.
Some people still don't know who Muhammad Ali was.
That's
Who?
the problem.
Alright, that's their problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
That's their
They're living under a rock.
But now, since that was a great introduction, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
For props. Getting into it. The topic for today is, again, relationships, as we have been talking about that for the past couple episodes. The question that we're going to start off firstly is, so me, Tahir, Adel, and my friend Joe here, we've been through this journey where we've been through school, middle school, high school, university, and we've seen people go through relationships. And Tahir, you guys have, I guess, held back from all of that stuff. You have said, we're not going to commit yet. We're not going to go right into it. We're going to wait. So the question that poses up to people that are watching is, what's the benefit? Why should someone wait? Why should someone wait before they get into a relationship? What are they waiting for? You know, if there's someone really beautiful in front of me and I like the person, why not? You know, what's stopping me from saying, no, not yet. It's not the right time.
I mean,
that's the question that I think we'll let Joe answer first, and let that be a discussion.
You want to answer first?
No, you guys go. Let's.
No,
hear.
you're the guest.
Oh.
You're the guest.
The man had something to say already.
Man, he's the host.
Okay, yeah. I'll let you go, and then I'll see if my thing was similar to yours or like okay. What's yours?
I'm not a fan of the word waiting because it gives people a different, a very interesting perception and perspective. Because if we're purely using the word wait, nothing really gets done. And in terms of relationship speaking, I wouldn't tell anybody to wait, even though that's what we're trying to do. I'll tell people to work. And there's two different things between waiting and working. The idea of waiting that we have in relationships is we sit there and then let time pass. And as time passes 15, 20 years, not 15, 20, 2, 3 years, then we say, all right, because this allocated time has passed, I'm ready.
It's more like procrastination.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And people aren't doing the work.
Yeah. They're sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, and so that's always been the problem. The problem is people aren't doing the work, because before you get into a relationship, you must be in a relationship with yourself.
That was a key point.
That's
a key point.
And people aren't doing the work. They're waiting, and the idea when people hear the word wait, they think sit there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There should never be a time where you're just sitting there. Every time should be a time you're working.
Working.
Doing something.
And now I think it's best to define what working is. So I've had this conversation with Joel before where I've come across relationships and these relationships are just there, you know, they just exist. There's nothing beneficial from it. And there was a term that in that relationship, one person is guessing, who are you? And that person is guessing, who am I? It's a guess who game. In some moments when you haven't really worked on yourself, you haven't really, you don't understand yourself yet, you know. And I think that's where I stand when it comes to working on yourself. What does that mean? And my definition towards that would be trying to find out who you are. What's your place in this world? Who you are, what your beliefs are, what your foundation is. because you can't walk into something and then be like, oh, I'm not ready for this. This person has different beliefs to me, and you learn that 10 years into a relationship, you don't want that. You get into a relationship, you get married and all that stuff, and then you realize this person is like this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the analogy of like, if you don't have your foundation well built, then if you're trying to lean on someone and they lean back on you, you're just gonna collapse. You're gonna fail. Your relationship is just done for. Like, you need to have a solid foundation.
See, I agree with basically everything you guys are saying. That's, to be honest, that's exactly.
Why you agree?
No. I was gonna
You can't
explain.
just be there.
I was gonna explain, right? Like,
Continue.
when you're saying like where people, they don't just wait. You have to actually work, right? And like, obviously, the reason why you work is to learn about yourself. Learn what you want and what you don't want, everything like that. So as you're talking about, I think you said where people get into relationships and a few years down the line they find out, okay, this is not what I want, right? And that's what they do. They get into that relationship, then they get hurt, and then they realize, okay, yeah, this is how this is me now. Like they start to learn little bits about themselves while going from like relationship to relationship to relationship. Find little pieces of themselves in that. Like, okay, I like this. While, as you said, you could just work on yourself for that like 1 or 2 year period, whatever, find out who you really are, right? And I think that's what I've done, right? I didn't even realize I was doing it. It just happened, right?
It was no choice.
Yeah, it was no choice. It was just like, I knew I wasn't ready for like a relationship, anything like that, right? So I'm not gonna just jump into it because like, no offense to other people, I feel like it's dumb, right? So then I just subconsciously, all of a sudden, I started finding out stuff about myself. Right, and then I like
you're dark skinned. You have 5 fingers.
Not that.
Are you saying something? You're saying something?
No, more like what I like, what I don't like, right? And it was more because I used to always think deeply about everything I did, right? So if I liked something, I think, okay, why do I like this, right? I don't just think, okay, yeah, I like this, right? I figure out, okay, why do I like this? Because it's most times or sometimes it ends up being, I don't like it for that. I like it for this reason as well. Like, it's like some other reason.
I guess figuring out why you like something, because I think there was another conversation with someone else, which was about those conscious and subconscious decisions that you make. So sometimes you make a decision, sometimes you like something subconsciously. So let's say you like cars. Why do you like cars?
See, and that's
you know what I mean? Is it because it gets you fame? Is it because people like that car? Is it what's the reason? Are you making that decision based on your subconscious mind just doing its thing? Or are you consciously saying, I like the shape, model, the car, the history, the way it's built, the mechanics, and that's what you find interesting? Great. But I think some people might just like it for that fame,
that's not wrong. But it's the thing is, if you don't question why you like something, you're not gonna figure anything about yourself, right? Like, say you like soccer, and you say, oh yeah, I just like soccer, and you don't know why you like it, right? Then you haven't learned anything from it. Like the fact that you like it, I guess it's beneficial for you. It makes you happy in what that way. But if you find out why you like it, you can actually find some other stuff in that similar like category in a way, if you think about it.
But here's an interesting conundrum.
Conundrum.
That's
a big word we haven't used in a long time.
That is very interesting. Even the aspect on the question of the word love, right? If you go to a couple and you ask them, you say, why do you love so and so? And if they can explain to you why they love so and so, be careful.
I'll get that point as well.
Though the why gives you a foundation and a reason, but it has to be a continuous search in the mind. The moment you can come to a definite answer to, I love him because the way he treats me. I hear a lot of ladies say that. He takes care of me. He buys me flowers. He does this, he does that. Well, the day that person stops doing that, now you get triggered.
I mean,
because this is what's been the foundation from the very beginning.
To be honest, with some stuff as a foundation, I feel like it's correct. If they don't do that anymore, then that's that's a reason to cut off the relationship. There's some stuff where,
but that's
no. I guess the reasoning behind it. So if the foundation
you're
is
cut the whole world. I'm telling you,
if the foundation is built upon me giving you flowers every
No.
week.
Meaningless. No. Meaningless. Meaning like that's.
I guess the different foundations. So,
Yeah, like the base foundation. I'm not
so
talking
I
about
guess
like
if
some,
that person treats you well,
treats you well,
if
right?
that person takes care of you, if that person
Just
looks after
treats
you,
you
and all
well.
that stuff.
These
Let's say treat you well.
treat you well is a dark shade, man. You know why it's a dark shade?
It's a broad
Because
thing.
I'll tell you right now, I do a fair bit of counseling, right? And I'll tell you right now, when you're when your most relationship, when they're starting, people are on cloud 19. Everything you do looks like you're treating them well. And so perception is blurry right there. It's very blurry. The very start, infatuation. That's what a lot of people confuse love for infatuation. They get infatuated with a certain person and then they say, I love him. Well, let's describe all the different levels of attachment, right? For example, the first level of attachment when we speak about love is to do with the physical sense. When people physically look at you and say, wow, okay, I feel like getting myself attracted to this person or attached to this person. Well, another stage of it is they love how your mind works. They love how you think. And so another stage is the emotional intelligence. And you have another stage, which is a spiritual intelligence. Now, in this 4 I listed, I think there's about 5 or so. I'm missing one more. But the first 2, you can start with it, but you can't make that a foundation.
No.
You cannot, hear me out. You cannot make looks or whatever a foundation. But go around, you'll see. That's a foundation of a lot of relationship. You cannot make the structure of somebody's mind a foundation. You cannot.
No, but symmetry is good.
No.
Listen to this. But the last 2, those last 2, which are emotional intelligence, which is very big for ladies, very huge, to be able to pick up the cues and things and how they're feeling at all time. Emotional intelligence and also spiritual intelligence. And with spiritual intelligence, it's not only the reason that I had the word intelligence towards it is because there must be an act to it. It's not just I say Quran this or Bible this or this is a way of life.
See?
Right? A way of life must be observed. And so if you say, I love someone's way of life, then someone may ask you, what about their way of life? You can't put it to words. You can't really describe, people look at me, how do you describe my way of life? You can't put it to words. It's like describing a tree. I said, describe a tree for me. What are you going to say? A branch?
No, I can describe the way you're living
A
life.
leaf?
Easy going.
You see?
But that's
Imagine-
but that's not all his thing. That's his
Yeah. But
overall.
the thing is this, the one smoking and getting high is also easy going.
He's very easy going.
He's definitely not taking an
I
ad.
know, it's very easy going.
He's actually more easier than me.
I think I'll just put my 2 cents there. Like, I
Yeah.
understand what you mean. Like, the foundation of your love needs to be something that is existential. It needs to be eternal. So to
Yeah.
speak.
That's what I'm coming from.
And for that sake, like I was reading through some books and researching about
Yeah.
this fact as well. Like reflecting back to my own spirituality, what my texts say is that in Islam at least, that you need to love your brother not for the sake that you love your brother or whatever. You love them for the sake of God. How you make this existential connection with them. God is going to be eternal. He's going to be there forever. It's constant. If you make the connection through him with your, I don't know, your partner, whether it be your partner, your friend, or whatever it may be, even your pet, you have this connection that's always constant. And no matter what they do, because your love of them is an idea of what they are. It's an idea of what they are, right?
Yeah.
So, but if your connection is through God, it doesn't matter who they are. You are loving them through something that's constant. So your love is constant.
Beautiful.
And back to the reason, like, where it was obviously I was like, the reason why you're saying that was because I was talking about,
No, what you're saying is right. But that's the conundrum. It's that you never get to a definite reason.
I don't know. I'm not talking about like why you love someone. I'm talking about you understanding yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like you, if you do something, right? There's a reason, a subconscious reason why you do it, right?
Oh, 100%.
Exactly. And it's to understand that subconscious reason. Some people don't try to understand it, which, look, it's up to you whether or not you want to.
I think that leads problems. So in relationships, I think what I've seen when people take subconscious decisions.
No.
And then they question, why is she getting upset?
No.
No. He's not saying questioning another. Question self.
Yourself.
He's right on that.
We're trying to, when you're trying to do the subconscious like thoughts of somebody else, that's different because
that's what I'm saying, in the sense that you end up questioning someone else in the relationship except yourself. That's what I'm saying.
No, not in that. I'm talking about when you're
I think a better way to put it is like, what is your intention?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Let's say you do something, or let's say you like something, right? What's your intention for it? Or what's your reason for that? That's what I'm trying to say. Not like if you're in a relationship and you guys do something together, and what's the other person? It's just you yourself. If you're single.
What I'm trying to get at is what you're saying is you have to actually understand the decisions that you make, right? Consciously. I think the people that don't do it and then they get into relationships and whatnot, girlfriend, boyfriend, and then you have moments in that relationship that I think the person makes a decision, he gets a reaction, and that leads to questioning what's going on, you know. But and it's never like, okay, wait a second, let's step back. I might have done something wrong. Let's see what I did. Why did I do that? And I think that's going to happen throughout your relationship. You're going to always need to do that. But I think that's a habit that you need to instill in yourself from the get-go.
Yeah, okay, the best word to put it is self-reflection, basically.
He's talking about different things. You're talking about different things.
Yeah. So, I understand. That's what I'm trying to think. Where, like, in a way, I guess what you're trying to say is, if you don't self-reflect by yourself, then in the end, when you get into a relationship, basically, you kind of, like your self-reflection at that point, or like when you're trying to analyze the situation, when you get into a relationship, if you haven't done it before by yourself, trying to analyze your own thoughts, you're going to mess up. Yeah. Because then you're going to, like me, right now, I've thought by myself in my head, okay, this, subconsciously, right? Where sometimes I went like down like the wrong way. Then I brought myself back, right? I can control my subconscious thoughts, right? Now I've done that. Not like, okay, not completely, not completely.
That's the conundrum of life right there.
Not like that, but more in the sense of, like if I do something, or if there's an action, right, I can like,
you can see it.
Yeah, I can see it. I can analyze it.
Because when it comes to the mind, it's not the matter of control; it's a matter of sight. Yeah. And being able to see. Because the key question, even the study around on Mondays, we've been going through control. Where people come up and say, I'm trying to control my emotions, control my mind, control my life, control. Who's telling you people you can control any of this? For example, when a thought arises from you, an idea, it arises without your permission.
Yeah, 100%.
What you gonna do? You gonna put a timer? Yes. You're coming in 5 minutes. And for example, if I said to people, stop thinking about this topic now.
That's what's first psychology.
Yeah, you can't do it.
When you have someone that's depressed, stop being depressed. Just stop it.
This is stupidity. And so
you sent me a meme. Yeah.
So if you're homeless, just buy a house.
And so in relationship, in the basis of relationship, we trying to control our partners most of the time, right? Is because I've said there's only two things that can hurt you. Is remembrance of the past or expectations of the future. Nothing can never hurt you in the present moment because there is no attachment in the present moment. If you live now and now, you live now and you have a partner, that partner hasn't done anything. They're pure at that very moment. If you live in the moment, it's impossible to find anything wrong with them. But the moment you say, she always does this, she will think of doing this. That's when the problem comes in. But if you purely live in the present moment, which is what kids do so well, they know not of yesterday. Something happens 5 minutes ago, he cry, you give some lolly, the kid is good. You sit them down trying to talk about 5 minutes ago, they want to play.
I must be raising my cousins wrong.
Yeah.
No. Literally, because I get that.
Conditioning. You guys have started conditioning them.
No, because basically what you're saying is like when you start okay, like let's say somebody obviously like did something wrong in their past, right? And then you kind of judge them for that, and then in the end you're gonna think, okay, in the future they're gonna do that again.
We're going off track. The question was, why should one wait? Right? Now, one answer that we got from there was essentially work, and that working is actually reflect, right? Reflect upon yourself. Continue.
You know, I reached an epiphany just then about you being in a relationship. Your goal should be able to self-reflect with the other person and be able to be freely reflecting, both of you together.
Because that literally answers the question why we should wait.
Because you need to work yourself to be able to self-reflect really good by yourself, right? And then when you get in a relationship, you need to be able to self-reflect with the other person, so you have zero communication barrier, because you're sync all the time.
Exactly.
Well, now we need to speak of the highest level of to be in sync. What's the highest level of syncness? It's not language, which people have tried to do it all the time. When I helped relationship, I say, what's the problem? He's not communicating properly. Well, that's not the problem, because people are thinking words is the highest level of communication, but it's not. For example, when you see a mother and a baby, the highest level of relationship is happening right there. And it's happening subconsciously. For example, when we speak to a dog, right? Someone said to a dog, sit. The dog don't understand English. You go to China, the Chinese dog can understand English.
We're getting to this other point that we discussed.
Okay, let's keep going.
We'll keep going.
Yeah.
I like it.
And so the thing is, we must learn the language of the mind, and the language of the mind is two very main languages: is telepathy and feelings. You know very well that if you hit yourself, you get a certain vibration, and it goes over to the mind and it gives it a meaning, and so forth. If a thought appears, it changes the whole body. From a thought, you get a change of frequency in the whole body. Well, then it's the same when you have a different partner. Why? Because, for example, let's say you guys would have experienced this. You're in a place where there's people, whatever, and somebody's looking directly at you. You don't even know they're looking directly at you, but you can feel it. It's conscious attention. Well, what happens in relationship is that we have all those sorts of vibrations sent through the air. When your partner can walk in, you know straight away something is wrong. And they don't have to open their mouth or whatever. Well, we need to learn how to communicate on that level.
I get that.
We need to leave words. We need to start. See, words. The purpose of words is to create silence. It's not to create more words.
It's to answer a question and then create silence.
And if you want to get the picture of it, is because words supposed to take you into a state of reflectiveness. Silence.
That's what
it's
it should
stillness.
be. Yeah.
It's not supposed to create more words. For example, if I say words and someone else wants to say more words, that's an argument.
That's an argument.
But if I say words, silence appears. That's productive. Now someone has taken it in. They're chewing it in.
Yeah.
And it's created a state of stillness in them where self-reflection is taking place. Yeah. And so if words are creating that very state in the mind, then it's effective communication. Mm-hmm. But if words are creating more words, problematic.
And I think this would kind of take us to the second part, which was love languages, right? The reason why I say that is because love languages aren't, basically, then sometimes they could be like, physical words, right? But technically they're like, okay, like words of affirmation, right? That's where basically you're kind of encouraging your partner and stuff like that, right? But then
tapping into that telepathy thing that you
feelings. You're just triggering your feelings.
Exactly.
That's all.
And that's what love languages do. They trigger feelings, right?
Yeah.
And I think that would be the second point.
That was the second topic.
Yeah.
So, because first one was essentially, again, we'll just summarize the first question somehow. Again, why I think it's the cons, not pros of, I guess, taking your time, right, to understand yourself. That's.
Let's actually go back to that waiting, because there's depth there. There's always more.
100% more. 100%. But that conversation goes on and on.
There is always depth. I believe that society has really put us behind time, and we've been doing things according to time for so long, and that's put us behind. Why? Because there's certain structure about you can't get married until you're 20-something. You have to go through this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So school has been elongated and everything has been projected for a long distance. And all this stuff has really messed up the mind.
Yes. I know for a fact that back in the day, if you go into villages, you see kids the age of my cousin, they're like 5-6 years old. They're way more mature than the kids of our generation in the sense that
no, it's because the thing right now, people, they baby other people, right? And they think, okay, just
it's a lot of waiting that they do.
Yeah, and they literally say, yeah, let time do it, and over time they'll gain wisdom and stuff like that. Yeah.
People are, you should be working from a young age.
Yeah, like you can have like a 6-year-old, but like even a 12-year-old who's like really wise.
I reckon, we can have a 12-year-old sitting here and having this conversation with us, and I've had that.
I've been having these conversations since I was young.
Kids, man.
But yeah, like I hate the fact that people think, okay, with
this
age
weight
comes wisdom.
And 100%. That's wrong. I think
and the problem now has taken place that the mind is not in sync with the body anymore. It's not in sync with the universe. It's not in sync with education. Everything is disorganized. There's a disorder in all sorts of level. Well, you wonder why people can't get their life together. And when you're talking about things of waiting and maturity and so forth, we have to think about it in this way. What creates someone's maturity? How do we know one is mature?
Experience.
Not
Not time.
time. Okay, yeah. I guess
We can rule out time there.
But experience in what way? Because normally, see, the thing is, people say
It can't be dumb experiences, though. It's something productive.
no, but you see, people say experience is created over time, right? But it depends because
How do we measure maturity?
I don't know. I don't think experience. So everything that we haven't learned everything through our own experiences. Lots of that is
Education, obviously.
looking through someone else's eyes, seeing that person made a mistake. I ain't gonna do that. You've done that a lot, seeing through someone else, seeing this person done this, the books, the history. What does history teach? What, man? This is the key thing that faith came down to do. It told you these people did this. So don't do this.
So basically, maturity is by how much you've learned, I guess.
No.
This is information age.
Information.
Everybody knows everything.
No. But okay. I guess it also depends on how you
I
take
think the
it.
term is infobicity, something like that.
I
People
guess
are always
when we
learning,
said
but never coming to
when we
truth.
said religion and history and knowledge, it's restricted to theory, right? All of that stuff, and that's what we have to get out of. I know kids that have basics clear that are doing better than the people that have all the knowledge in the world. You know what I mean? Just because they have those basics clear, like, I should treat the elders well or do this route. And I think that's where we have to aim, so like creating someone that's responsible, creating someone that can think for himself, instilling principles in them so that they can learn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the one thing is when we say wait, right? It's that waiting isn't in regards to time. That waiting is just reflect a little, learn those principles that will carry you through that relationship. Because I think when you get into a relationship, it's a whole new chapter. It's a whole new world of problems that you just can't expect. Like I sent this video to you guys yesterday. You get a bunch of random problems that you just didn't expect.
I think I agree with what you're saying completely. But I don't even think it's a brand new problem with things you can't expect. I think all those problems have always been around you, but you could escape before, but now you can't.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. The only difference now you have to face.
You have to face it. You have to live with that person. You have to make it work. You can't just okay, bye.
Yeah,
that's a problem. No, but that's a problem. In lots of relationships nowadays,
see,
that's a problem. People get into
you can
quick
like
stuff. Quick, very quick.
People, I've seen people
Smash and dash.
No, not even that. I've seen people be in relationships and then
one
just
foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, and then like they just, or sometimes they
Close
just
the
hop
doors,
in,
open the windows,
then hop
right?
back out. And that's it.
Cut Israel.
Where they basically feel no attachment, right? And they can just feel like there's no consequences.
No, let me mind you with that word. Let's be very careful in that word. Attachment, like Adel was saying about viewing another person through the eyes of God, disattach you from that person. Though you are attached, but you're not attached. It's a very, very intricate thing because
balance.
If there's no God, there is very little.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Attachment is why a lot of people are crying. My man, my woman, my this. They can't move forward. For example, you were to lose your girlfriend, lose whatever. All right, I feel a bit of hurt. I feel pain because there was an expectation, but I release because there is no attachment. And attachment implies control.
Yeah. No,
like our parents do a lot.
Yeah.
My child, my kid, and to let you go, they won't let you go. Because you're theirs.
Yeah. See, what I'm talking about, like, okay, with the attachment thing where Adel was talking about it, where you're basically not attached to that person directly, but through God, right? So in that sense, whether or not that, like, so you would try your best and like stay in that relationship and try to make it work, not for you, not for that person, right? Because you're attached to them, but you're attached to God. So no matter what, even if that person leaves you, it doesn't matter because you still have God. You get it?
So you're never gonna be depressed like that.
Exactly.
Well, you could be, but like
you'll be
sad.
Sadness. It's okay.
You'll have those feelings.
But depressed is like where you're like this person left me because
you're not paralyzed by
because you attach yourself to that person, and because that person left. That was your attachment was focused on that person.
There was a saying by I think Yasmin Morad. She said that there's I think it was about 4 chambers in the heart or something like that. But there's one chamber that's for God, that spirit, your spirituality, that should not be taken up by someone else. So if you place your wife or your partner in the place where someone else is supposed to live, God, And when that person leaves, you're gonna feel empty because you place that person of such high importance where you can't live without them. You know, that person was your living source.
And I think one thing we must always, when it comes to life, we need to get out of the shallow end and always look at a picture, because this universe is an art and it's a picture. So in all things, we must see the picture. Relationship, what's the picture behind it? Because the manufacturer designed it with a purpose. Nothing that is designed has no purpose. There is not a single thing that exists without a purpose.
100%. Yeah.
And so when we start thinking of purpose instead of practice, then once we understand the purpose, the practice is made perfect.
See, and I guess that's what basically waiting does. You help
find yourself in your world,
and
like, where do you
help you
belong?
find your
What's
purpose, in that type of relationship anyway.
And now you gotta understand. All right, so if I've discovered self, now there's another. Well, what's the purpose with another? Well then, it all comes back to the oneness. What Adel was saying before is in sync, syncing everything to one. That's always been the big game. And when it comes to things like running away, people don't understand this, but this whole entire world is made out of yourself and only yourself. There is nothing else. There is no one else. And someone may say, "Oh, there's 7 billion people." This is a very intricate thing that once you understand, it will change your idea of relationship. Because you will never have to blame anybody again for the rest of your life. And so, for example, let's say I leave Jasmine and I go to a certain other lady or whatever, thinking that whatever happened with Jasmine was Jasmine's fault.
So who's Jasmine?
No,
Yeah,
it's not my wife. I'm a married man. I'm sorry.
I see what you did there.
I'm just using random words.
You're rejecting proposals. Because he does a lot of things, right? So he does this by purpose. He can say this one. He can just do this.
I'm smart, bro. I'm gonna follow your footsteps. That's
fine.
Anyways, so and so, if I say, "Oh, the problem was so and so," I'm gonna leave so and so, and now I'm gonna find a better partner. Well, everybody says that when they first get in a relationship, they say, "My next is better than my ex." It's always an intention people think, right? Well, your next is not better than your ex. It's you the problem. Yeah, it's always been you.
People blame a lot in relationships.
It will always be you, because at the level you're at is what you get.
Yeah.
You don't get anything you're not.
You gotta up your leagues.
That's true. You
Yeah.
got quote that one. You don't get anything that you're not.
And people are trying to, "Oh yeah, let me do so and so, let me do and so because that girl made me sick, that she made me this." No, she didn't make you anything. She gave you what you wanted. And the thing we want is not what we say consciously, is what we say subconsciously.
Wait up.
After.
Alright guys, thank you for coming back.
We're back.
To part 2 of the same episode because of technical difficulties. But that's okay. We'll continue on with the conversation that we were discussing, which I don't remember.
Let me think.
Yeah,
we actually branched off about the last question we're supposed to answer was, how do we know maturity?
Yes.
That was it.
That was the branch.
And let me say, we all said something about discovering whether someone is, how do we know someone is mature or not? And it's always been the question everybody asks.
Yeah.
Is one mature because they wear a suit? Is another mature because they got an engineering job or they work in business or they got a career together?
Don't take this the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right?
You don't know what?
I don't know what makes you mature. Right? I don't really know anything.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, even admitting like you don't know something actually helps you become mature.
That is
as well.
maturity. That is maturity.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to think, but like, that's another thing. Where
to sum it up, if you really think in the deep and depth of it, the one thing and one thing only: decision. That is all.
Watch an episode.
It's always been about that.
Oh, that's true. I'll make a decision. Yeah.
Decision.
Yeah.
When you see and you observe someone's decision-making process, that tells you everything you need to know about them. And the only way is this: we take you in the deep end, where nobody can hold you on, when you can't say, "Fahad, Jasmine, this."
Yeah.
And then we see.
But Jasmine's a good person.
Forget Jasmine. Man, I'm a married man. I'm sorry.
Jessica better though.
Let's forget about this, man.
Man, we can't be talking about girls here, man. What do you mean
Astaghfirullah.
relationship?
Yeah, bro.
We're
Next.
married, man.
Continue.
We're married, man. Anyway, when one is placed in a position where they have to decide, there and only there alone, you see the fullness of someone's level of understanding, maturity, conception, if knowledge has been applied or not. It's through decision. It's only through decision. Well, then you're placed at uni, decide. You're placed in this, decide. The average person that's suffering around right now, they're suffering because of one thing and one very thing. They take a long time to decide. A man said this, he said, successful people decide quick and take a long time to change their mind. Your people that roam around, you take a very long time to decide.
When we said decide quick,
No, but
what define deciding
No,
quick?
he said it before where he says it was the
Process.
process.
Yeah.
Process.
So
there must be a process.
you have, it's not like, left or right and just go left. Like, you gotta decide.
There has to be a
There has to
process,
be a process.
right? Because here's what we're gonna say. I believe that the decision itself shows the character, but the decision only has, for any given situation, there's infinite amount of possibilities.
Yes.
So your decision only has about 5% effect. And that's the illusion it gives in people's mind, right? You think your decision covers 100% effect, but it doesn't. It's only 5%. 95% is out of your control. Well, then, if I might decide to become an engineer, the path to becoming an engineer is vast. I decided to publish certain research. The path to getting there is vast. Who and where is going to contact me? How am I going to get there? That I know not. But I'm willing to act in faith. And so faith is a key factor in decision making. Well, watch the people. If someone is able to act in faith, there's a high level of maturity.
Yeah.
Because then you trust. And even if you don't know you're trusting the universe, you're trusting God. And to trust it, you have to be in sync with it.
Yeah.
And to be in sync to it, you have to be aware of the power from it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so there's a lot of link behind it. So if when faith is involved and decision is behind faith, any
you don't have to
decision
worry
is
about
beautiful.
anything.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
but
And I said
that's literally the smartest thing. So in that sense, even if let's say you decide to become an engineer, right? And then you do, like you said, that's 5%. There's 95% where you could go. Like there's like
Anywhere.
the process, right? And so like even if you end up not becoming an engineer or whatever, you become something else. You're okay with that decision, right? Because you left it up to some like fate, like in like the higher power, basically, right?
I think there's no wrong or right. My perspective towards things, you can make no right or wrong decisions in life. You will make a decision that might have some consequences, but that doesn't mean you can't correct anything. You can always get better. You can always move forward from any mistake you've made. If you're divorced, you can continue. You can get remarried. You can find another partner.
Well, there are some decisions that are intrinsically wrong, like murder. There's some decisions that are intrinsically wrong.
Even then, I disagree.
Yeah, he's saying something.
I disagree. Man, come on. There's a hadith where two people came up to the Prophet.
Yeah.
One said, "I've killed someone. Will I be forgiven?" And our Prophet replied, "Yes."
Yeah.
Then another person came up. "If I kill someone, will I be forgiven?" The Prophet said, "No." Get the wisdom there.
Intention.
Right? One's trying to find loopholes.
Yeah.
One's looking to move forward. Right? One's looking to be forgiven. Right?
Yeah. That makes
People
sense.
justify their wrongs. That's where they're wrong.
You enjoyed our content? Thank you. If you want more, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, and our website for more. If you love what we do, support us on Patreon, Subscribestar, Crypto, and all links in the description below. Hey, RCTV, peace out.